Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of The God of the Hive, a novel of suspense featuring Mary Russell and Sherlock Holmes by Laurie R. narrated by Jenny Sterlin.
Prologue. Friday, the 29th of August, 1924. Two clever London gentlemen. Both wore city suits. Both sat in quiet rooms. Both thought about luncheon. The younger was admiring his polished shoes. The older contemplated his stockings, thick with dust. The one was considering where best to eat. The other was wondering if he was to be fed that day. One clever man stood, straightening his necktie with manicured fingers. He reached out to give the silver pen a minuscule adjustment, returning it to symmetry with the edge of the desk, then walked across the silken carpet to the door. There he surveyed the mirror that hung on the wall, leaning forward to touch the white streak, really quite handsome, over the right temple before settling his freshly brushed hat over it. He firmed the tie again and reached for the handle. The other man, too, tugged at his tie, grateful for it. The men who had locked him here had taken his shoes and belt, but left him his necktie. He could not decide if they, or rather, the mind in back of them, had judged the fabric inadequate for the suicide of a man his size, or if they had wished subtly to undermine his mental state. The length of aged striped silk was all that kept his suit trousers from tumbling around his ankles when he stood. There was sufficient discomfort in being hungry, cold, unshaven, and having a lidded bucket for toilet facilities, without adding the comic indignity of drooping trousers. 20 minutes later, the younger man was reviewing his casual exchange with two high-ranking officials and a newspaper baron, the true reason for his choice of restaurant, while his blue eyes dutifully surveyed the print on a leather-bound menu. The other man's pale grey gaze was fixed on a simple mathematical equation he'd begun to scratch into the brick wall with a tiny nail he'd uncovered in a corner. A divided by B plus C plus D. Both men, truth to tell, were pleased with their progress. Book 1. Saturday, the 30th of August, to Tuesday, the 2nd of September, 1924. Chapter 1. A child is a burden after a mile. After 2 miles in the cold sea air, stumbling through the night up the side of a hill and down again, becoming all too aware of previously unnoticed burns and bruises, and having already put on 8 miles that night, half of it carrying a man on a stretcher, even a small, drowsy 3.5-year-old becomes a strain. At 3 miles, aching all over, wincing at the crunch of gravel underfoot, spine tingling with the certain knowledge of a madman's stealthy pursuit, a loud snort broke the silence, so close I could feel it. My nerves screamed as I struggled to draw the revolver without dropping the child. Then the meaning of the snort penetrated the adrenaline blasting my nerves. A mad killer was not about to make that wet noise before attacking. I went still. Over my pounding heart came a lesser version of the sound. The rush of relief made me stumble forward to drop my armful atop the low stone wall, just visible in the creeping dawn. The cow jerked back, then ambled towards us in curiosity, until the child was patting its sloppy nose. I bent my head over her, letting reaction ebb. Estelle Adler was the lovely, bright, half-Chinese child of my husband's long-lost son, Sherlock Holmes' granddaughter. I had made her acquaintance little more than 2 hours before, and known of her existence for less than 3 weeks. But if the maniac who had tried to sacrifice her father, and who had apparently intended to take the child for his own, had appeared from the night, I would not hesitate to give my life for hers. She
Sample complete. Ready to continue?